This week on Theme Park Worldwide, the show, we're back here at the World of Theme Parks where we're going to be talking a little bit more about Dreamland in Margate. We're going to look at testing footage from Cannibal, and also we're going to be talking about the future of Knightmare from Camelot Theme Park. My name's Shawn Sanbrooke, this is Theme Park Worldwide, the show, and that means it's time to cue those titles. And once again, a very warm welcome to this week's show here on the channel. Hope you enjoyed last week's on location show from Gardaland in Italy. If you've not seen it, it has to be the best episode so far of the series, so make sure you do check it out. Last week's show from Gardaland, absolutely loved it. Oblivion the Black Hole, wow, what a ride it was. You know, you can hear all my reviews and stuff like that in last week's show, and also in our vlog. The Gardaland vlog is in two parts. Yes, it's a long one. Yeah, it's part 1 and part 2 are now both online here on the channel. Make sure you check them out. I'm with it's obviously myself, Joe, and also Beth, who's new to the vlogs. Absolutely great trip we had there. 4 days at Gardaland in Italy. Really, really good. So make sure you do check out both part 1 and 2 of the vlog, and also last week's episode of the show. It was absolutely awesome, I loved it. Also then, what's going to be coming up in the next few weeks? Well, there's not long until our next big trip away. Obviously Europa Park, we're going to be there from the 3rd till the 8th of May. And then also Disneyland Paris from the 9th to the 14th. It's a European mega trip back to back. Can't wait, there's going to be a show on location again. 2 on location shows in fact. And there's also going to be vlogs and loads of stuff. It's going to be absolutely awesome here on the channel. So I'm looking forward to bringing that to you guys as well. Anyway, without further ado, I think we should kick straight in with a bit of news off the rails. First up then in our news for this week, Camelot Theme Park. Obviously it closed down at the end of 2012 after many years in service. It's had many great rides over the years, and it was a big player in the UK theme park industry. So obviously it sadly closed down. A lot of the rides got moved on and sold to other theme parks. But there's one ride what still remains there. You can see it on the way to Blackpool when you're on the motorway. If you look off over to the left, you'll see it still sat there. Of course, it is the Schwarzkopf classic known as Knightmare. Now, Knightmare is a great coaster. It's a shame to see it there, SBNO. And we're not the only ones to think that here on Theme Park Worldwide, as the owner of Southport Pleasureland, which also was a closed down park which revived a few years ago, he's looking at putting this installation in. That's it, he's planning on buying Knightmare and putting it in at Pleasureland, subject to a few things. Obviously he needs the backing of the locals and also the Southport Council, where he's basically, I've got a little quote from him here which I quite like. He says he's the man to make Southport the country's #1 seaside destination, topping Blackpool and all that. So I really like the sound of it. It will be one of the best operating roller coasters in the UK if they can get that there. It'll look great. Here's a little image of what he wants to do to it. So obviously at the moment it's in quite a horrible brown colour, and what he's going to be doing here is completely painting it up. It looks like it's going to be white and red there, you know, which looks really nice. So hopefully this is going to go and happen. So basically it's a Schwarzkopf custom ride, but it wasn't first at Camelot Theme Park. It was actually brought there in 2007 after it closed down at a park over in Japan. Here's a little image of it over in Japan. Look at all that theming it used to have. It used to have all the rocky facade on it, which is quite cool. And there's a more recent picture of it, well, I say recent, when it was operating over at Camelot. So yeah, it's an interesting ride. 5G you can pull on this ride, over 2,600 feet of track, 89 feet tall, and it was just generally a great ride. It can get about 1,500 riders an hour on 2 trains, which is awesome. So hopefully they are going to get that. And of course here on Theme Park Worldwide we'll keep you updated. We're going to be going to Southport Pleasureland. I've not been for a couple of years. I know they've put a lot more permanent stuff in. They've had a couple of the rides from Camelot as well go over there. So it's somewhere I'm looking forward to visiting over this summer period. And of course we'll share it with you here on Theme Park Worldwide. Next up then, another part of what's been revived, and of course Dreamland in Margate. I mentioned it a couple of episodes back, and that there was going to be a press launch sort of day announcing when it was going to be opening and ticket prices, that sort of thing. Well, we had a contact that went down just last week here on Theme Park Worldwide, and well, it sounded like it was a great event. I was a bit gutted that I was away at the time, as I would have definitely gone down. But yeah, our reporter was there on the 27th of March, and basically they've announced that the park's going to open on Friday the 19th of June. That's just a couple of months away now, not long to go until we'll be back there on the scenic railway, which will be great. But it's not just heritage rides which are going to be in there, which is interesting. There's also plans to put in a caterpillar coaster and also a drop tower in there as well. So again, things we weren't really expecting. We thought it was going to be 100% heritage, but it's good to see they are putting in some more modern rides as well. Hopefully that'll mean if the park's successful in the future, we'll see even more modern rides sort of going in there, which is good. More modern rides. As you can tell, it gets me excited. It's great to see a park like Dreamland opening again. It's been shut for quite a few years now. You know, it's a shame when we lose these seaside parks, so it's good to see it sort of reopening. I'm looking forward to visiting. As soon as it opens, we'll be down there, possibly the opening day yet, but we'll have to see on that one. But I'm looking forward to it. I'll definitely be there the week or the week after the opening, which will be really, really cool. Can't wait. So, it's not going to be a paper ride park. Basically, sort of like tokens, it's going to be either a wristbanded park or a pay one price to get in. We're unsure at the moment, but all we do know is it's going to be £17.95 for an adult, £14.95 for a child for unlimited riding. Whether that will come as that you can walk around for free, but you have to wear a wristband to ride, or you're going to have to pay to just get in. We're not too sure at the moment. When we get more details, of course, we'll let you know here on the show. But you get a £3 discount if you book online, which is cool. So that'll reduce it down to about 14 quid, which is really good value. And £17 I think is really good value for a UK theme park these days. And that's great. Construction work's nearly complete on the oldest roller coaster in the UK, the Scenic Railway. There it is, how it's looking. And that pit was took us a few weeks back. Yeah, it's great to see, and I really can't wait to get back on that. I rode it once when I was a kid, and it's always a ride that I wanted to get back and do. Obviously, it closed. Then there was a major fire on it a few years ago while it was SPNO. So I thought my times of riding that are gone, and now it's been completely refreshed. I think it's going to be a really top UK coaster to go out and try. So I'm looking forward to that. A couple of smaller pieces of news then now. The track is now complete for Baron 1898, and the brand new B&M dive coaster. It's going to rival Oblivion the Black Hole that I did just last week in Italy. I loved Oblivion the Black Hole. Like I say, I'm not going to go on about it in the show too much. That's what the on location show last week was for, and also the vlogs. The vlogs are great, you've got to check them out. Full review in there. But yeah, this ride, it's completely rivaling that. It's a B&M dive coaster, pretty much the same style thing, 2 inversions. It's all opening this year. We still haven't got an actual opening date yet. The rumours are saying June, July. Hopefully it's going to be July, because that's when I'm planning on getting out there to go and ride it. I'm waiting to book my flights and that. As soon as they announce the opening date, I'll be booking that to go there, either for the opening or as close to the opening as possible. So it's going to be really good. Of course, it looks great. Again, a little picture there. Oh, look at that. I like how F-Town have put the little flag there as well to show the track's complete. Looks like a great ride. Looks beautiful. The theming of the whole station building as well, top class. So I'm looking forward to that. Another bit of small news then is from Legoland Windsor, and they've launched a formal appeal to the council against the refusal of the planning permission for the Haunted House Dark Ride. It was set to open this year. It looked amazing, similar to the one at Legoland Billund. If you've not seen it, check it out. Google Legoland Billund Haunted House. But yeah, it looked really good. They didn't get the planning permission. Last August, I believe it was declined due to traffic in the local area, and they needed to try and reduce that a bit. So it's interesting. They've put in this appeal, so let's see if it's going to go through. If you didn't know what the ride was going to be inside, I'll spoil it for you. It was going to be a 10-metre drop ride similar to Nemesis Subterra, going in there, all based around sort of this Lego haunted house. It looked really good, the one in Billund, so I was a bit gutted when they said obviously they couldn't get planning permission for the one in Windsor. So hopefully they'll sort the issues out, and now they've appealed it, we might get that in for next year. So it's a good time to apply. Obviously it's April now, mid-April, so it's a good time to apply for that if they want to put that in for next year. So we'll have to see. Finally then, on that news off the rails, it's action-packed this week, it always is on Theme Park Worldwide, but yes, it's Cannibal over at Lagoon in Utah. It looks awesome. I'm going to show you a little video in a second, just a quick recap. It's completely been manufactured in-house by the park. It's not a Mack or a Gerstlauer like it looks like, completely unique ride, 5 inversions, 2,700 feet of track, and it reaches a top speed of 70 miles an hour. This ride looks great. The whole lift hill's sort of enclosed, which is, it just looks epic. So I'm going to end our news for this week with a little bit of testing footage of the brand new Cannibal set to open this summer over at Lagoon in Utah. It's time for Guess the Coaster. It's been a couple of weeks since the last Guess the Coaster. Obviously last week was in Gardaland in Italy, so we have that much to bring to you from Italy and that we didn't put it in the show last week. What was the one from 14 days ago, I hear you all ask? It was, of course, drumroll, Colossus at Thorpe Park. Most of you got it right in the comments. Remember, it's just for fun. But yeah, it's great that you're all replying and loving this Guess the Coaster, which is absolutely awesome. What is it going to be for this week? Here's your sound effect. Here we go. It's this week's Guess the Coaster. There we go. All you need to do is comment below if you know what it is. Of course, I'm going through all the comments and seeing who's right and who's wrong and all sorts. I believe there is 1 or 2 people that have got every single one right so far this series of the show, which is quite good going. I don't think I'd do very well at this section myself if I was playing it. Maybe you should reverse it later in the year and you send some in for me and I try and guess them. But we won't do that just yet. I think that'd be a good one sort of later on in the series after the summer when the news is starting to die down a little bit. So I'll have to see with that one. But yeah, thank you very much for all your comments on Guess the Coaster, and I'll reveal this week's and give you a new one next week.
Questions, questions, questions everywhere.
So yes, it's time for another favourite part of the show. I really do like this section. I think it's giving people a good insight into myself and also Theme Park Worldwide and what it's all about. So if you do have any questions for Ask Me Anything, all you need to do is send them in, tweet them in at Theme Park WW, or you can direct message us there on Twitter and just ask us to follow you, or you can also private message them on the Theme Park Worldwide Facebook page. 4 more questions been picked this week from Charlotte. Let's have a little look at what I've got. Annie Stribling has asked, how many theme parks have you visited in 21 years? A hell of a lot. I've done every operating theme park in the UK. I've done a lot across Europe, obviously Leesburg, Gardaland, Hyde Park, Portaventura, Europa Park. Oh, absolutely loads. I don't actually know how many theme parks I've been to. But I do know that I've ridden over 600 roller coasters, so there you go. That's an interesting fact. I should work out how many parks I've actually been to. I think that's something I will do, and I'll let you know in a future show. Well, thanks for your question. Caitlin Ferguson has asked, what's the worst roller coaster you've ever been on? Worst roller coaster I've ever been on? Well, if you've watched Gardaland vlog, you'll know I didn't like Sequoia Adventure, but it's not that. Even though I rate that as not one of the best. It's in the UK, it's at Flamingo Land, narrowing it down. I bet you're all thinking, yeah, I know what it is, and you're right, it's Hero. I absolutely found Hero to be a pointless ride. It's uncomfortable, it's basically a vol air flying coaster. If you've not seen it, there's loads of videos of it on the channel. But yeah, you basically, instead of climbing into it like air and then pulling you straight down and tilting forward, you actually go forward in this one, and then they bring a restraint onto your back to hold you in. Absolutely pointless ride. I don't know why they put it in. They took out a lovely Wild Mouse to put that in, basically. Luckily the Wild Mouse is still operating in the UK. It's at Pleasurewood Hill. It's called Marble Madness, so go and check that out. It's the reason not to visit Flamingo Land there, but there is a lot of great rides at Flamingo Land worth checking out, so thanks for sending that in there. Ali Dukes has asked, if you were in charge of Alton Towers and you had to get rid of 2 roller coasters and add 2 new coasters, what would they be? Number 1, everybody knows I'm not a big fan of flying coasters. It's going to be air. I'd get rid of air and I'd put in a wing coaster. I love my wing coasters. Second, I'd probably get rid of Rita and I'll put a nice wooden roller coaster running around the Dark Forest. something a bit like Ghost Rider, same sort of theme as well. So yeah, that'd be really good. So thanks for your question. Finally then, anyone asked me anything, Brenna Burton has asked, if you could only ride coasters from one manufacturer, which manufacturer would you choose? Easy for me, I love them, it's B&M, Bolliger and Mallard. Absolutely love their coasters, they are brilliant. They make the best rides in my opinion, them and Mac, but definitely B&M. If you do have a question, I said at the start of the section, send them in, I'd love to see your questions. And of course me and Charlotte will go through the best ones and read 4 more out next week. Time for the final section of Theme Park Worldwide, the show then for this week. Hope you've enjoyed it. The weather's picked up as well over the weekend, which is absolutely lush. So I hope you've all had a great weekend getting out there on the coasters. Okay, first one is Dan Steckenberg. Him and his girlfriend have been together for a year and they're spending it at Efteling. Oh, how romantic. Can't wait to go for my first visit to Efteling this summer. As soon as they announce the opening date for Baron, I will be booking it. I look forward to getting out there this year. Thanks for that, Dan. Next up, Stephen Ashcroft with a photo with myself at the turnstiles. This is quite a trending theme in Interact with Me this week. Thanks for that, Stephen. Toby Bailey has also had a photo with me at the turnstiles, so thank you for that. Jonathan Blundered has also had a photo with me at the turnstiles. There we go, everybody knows where to find me now. Rob, webmaster, has sent in a 13 on-ride photo. Love 13, it's a great family coaster. I know at first it got quite a bit of stick when it came out in 2010. I really love it. I think it's a great coaster, really good starting coaster for families as well. So thank you very much for sending that in. Next up, Becky Hemphill, happy birthday to you. I hope you have a great time at Thorpe Park as well this week. So yeah, happy birthday to you. And finally, Lily Watson is a bit, basically this photo is amazing. It's a fan drawing what's been sent in. Obviously, we've had a couple of drawings before, but nothing quite as amazing as this. Wait till you see this, guys. There you go, look at that. That's a drawing of me which looks like I'm on either Oblivion or Oblivion the Black Hole, mainly because of the B&M restraints. She's even done to the detail, the logo built in there, the same font, and also you'll notice on my t-shirt I'm actually wearing a Mickey Mouse top, which I do wear quite a bit when I'm at the parks. So that's a great photo. Thank you very much for that, Lily. You've done a fantastic job. Yeah, it's great. I will be definitely printing that off, and I think that's going to have pride of place here at the World of Theme Parks. So be privileged. Not many items get printed off and stuck up here at the World of Theme Parks. And that's all for Interact with Me then. If you do have anything, send them in to me at ThemeParkWW on Twitter. Direct message them on Twitter. Private message them on Theme Park Worldwide's Facebook page. And there you go. And we'll pick the best ones. Myself and Theme Park Worldwide admin Charlotte will go through and we'll pick the best ones for next week. That's all for this week's episode of Theme Park Worldwide, the show. I'll be back next week. Charlotte's also going to be here next week on the show, which will be quite cool. You're going to get to meet her in our brand new section. And it's going to be a great week. Have a good time if you're going out there on the coasters. My name's Shawn Sanbrooke. Thanks for watching Theme Park Worldwide, the show. And that means it's time to cue those credits. See you later, guys. Have a great week.